Hi guys. So my name's Nicole, and today I basically want to talk about domestic violence awareness and pretty much my story. Bear with me though, because this is the absolute first time that I've ever done anything like this before. But I feel as though that it's important to speak upon it so that you can move forward and progress. And it's just another stepping stone on your life to show that yes, I've overcame that chapter. Check, done, on to the next. So it has taken me a really long time, honestly, to accept what I've overcame. And the fact that it wasn't my fault, I had a constant feeling like I wasn't worth anything for a really long period of time. And that was probably the most difficult portion for me to overcome. It not only, well, actually, not just that, but it did cause my next relationships to fail because I just anticipated every action to occur again, whether that was going to be the controlling portion, the cheating, the whatever the case scenario is. I thought it was going to happen and I anticipated it to happen, so I allowed everything to just crumble to pieces. And then when you've been silenced for such a long period of time, you kind of turn into somebody else. You forget who you were, you forget the voice that you had, you become a little bit quieter, a little bit more silent, a little bit more, what is the word, persuasive, just a little bit more laid back about things when you probably shouldn't. So that's just a little bit about that. And every time I think about that day, October 17th, 2015, I get an overwhelming feeling to the point I get chills through my spine. I can feel every portion of it. How that night, for the second time in my life, I was physically abused by someone I loved, and it would change my life forever. It was one of the scariest moments I've honestly ever encountered. I remember, well, it all started because we went to a damn football game and I ended up going to the bathroom on myself because he was so persistent on sneaking my purse in through his shirt. Although, if you know from the big house, you are not allowed to bring in purses. So they have a really, really fast and easy process. You just go to the purse check, then you get to go in. No big deal. But he insisted. We went 3 times, and I ended up going to the bathroom on myself. I'm one of those people, you gotta go, you gotta go. So obviously, I was pretty uncomfortable with the fact that I have, you know, pee on my pants, and I'm not wanting to stand up in this freezing cold rain. And it was like really cold steel benches too. It was just not a good situation altogether. So I was not the happiest, but was I being a buzzkill? I don't see that, but everybody looks at it in a different perspective, and he thought so. So, although I spent like $300 on a damn ticket, he decides to call an Uber to take us home and says, "Let's go. It's time for us to go. We're leaving. We're going home." We end up arguing probably the whole time home and end up breaking up. I told him not to come upstairs into my house. What does he do? Come upstairs into my house. As I'm trying to get him out of the house, he just pushes back as much as he possibly could. And then it was on from there, pretty much. I mean, he pulled my hair so hard, I could feel it from the back of my spine like that. And I thought that my back was going to break. Um, and I eventually began to scream. I mean, I thought that I was in danger. I thought I was going to die. So I'm over here screaming for my life. And finally, somebody decides to knock on the door. So I'm thinking, yes, I'm finally saved. I'm okay. But no. That was just the beginning. He told me, "Oh, do you want me to go to jail?" And I'm obviously saying yes. And so he punches me in the face, and I fall to the ground. And it was a really traumatic moment. I'm getting my face smashed into the tile ground, and I'm muffled from my cries. I'm so scared at this moment because I just don't know how I'm going to escape from this at all. I'm very thankful though. At the end of the day, I finally found a way to escape. I didn't have my contacts or my glasses on. I just had my keys. I was bare feet. I ran the fuck out of my house as fast as I possibly could, and I didn't look back. I didn't even have a phone at the moment because my phone died, so that was even worse. And I just landed on one of my friend's mother's steps and was begging for her help, bloody and beaten, feeling absolutely worthless at that moment. But you know what? I'm glad that that happened because obviously that relationship was not for me. And I can say that I am a survivor. Today, I can finally say that I know my value and I will never accept that type of treatment. I will not consume myself with any type of toxicity, whether that's in a friendship, a relationship, family member, whatever the case scenario, I'm not dealing with. Um, and it's really nice that I can finally speak on this situation without feeling judged or scared. There was just so many instances during the time frame of my relationship where I was told that I was fat, stupid, won't amount to anything, or the words that came out just were not appropriate. Not to mention, I was pretty much controlled by every move I made. I was getting phone calls throughout the day, and it all day long. And if I didn't answer, it was a problem. And he didn't know exactly where I was and where I was going, who I was particularly hanging out with. And if he didn't approve of that person, then that was definitely going to be an issue for me. And it's unfortunate that you have to feel that way. So today I'm just here to like tell you that that's not the type of relationship that you should be in. You shouldn't be having somebody who tells you who you can and cannot hang out with. You should not be changing your mood to the point where you are so unhappy with yourself. You look in the mirror and you hate yourself. You feel disgusted within yourself. You feel lifeless. You feel like committing suicide. That's not how a relationship should be. A relationship's about love and caring and accepting one another for who they are. If somebody tells you that you need to change yourself just 1 inch, they're not good for you. They're not worthy of you. Okay? You are worth so much more than you would ever know. And I promise you that. So I want you to know that you deserve somebody who cares about you and loves you every inch of your body and treats you with respect at all points. And don't allow somebody who says, you know what, I won't ever hurt you again. Don't allow that to even come into their mind that they're allowed to have another chance. Because, yes, you should give chances, but there's particular instances where you should. And being mentally or physically abused is not one. So don't get to this point. Do not be afraid to leave if you're being physically or mentally abused, no matter how much you love them. I mean, you've seen so many stories on TVs or online about how people decided to stay with them and they ended up dead. Don't be that person. Be able to say, I'm a survivor, and be here with me, speaking today, saying, I know that my life is wonderful because I decided to leave that portion behind me because I know that there's so much more out there, which there is. Like they say, there's plenty of fish in the sea. So, also to friends and family members of victims that are suffering, please continue to stay with them. Do not take the time and say, you know what, I don't want to be a part of their life anymore. I understand, truly, but it's so easy for them to be blinded by what's going on in the situation that they just don't understand. But at the end of the day, they're going to need somebody to be there for them and to help them throughout this process. So don't make that be one of their determining factors of whether or not they should stay with somebody or not because they realize that they have absolutely nobody else for them or to be there for them. So try your hardest to speak up because we all know that it's really easily to be blinded by signs and you have no clue how much an impact you can make. So save a life, get help, to the people who are victims, speak up and do not, let me tell you, do not be silenced. Because I am so glad that I have taken on this journey of going out there and not allowing myself to continue to get hurt. I'm glad that I filed a PPO. I'm glad that I stopped talking to him. And I'm so happy that I've done all the things that I have recently within my life, with changing states to receive a new opportunities. I mean, it's just so much out there that you wouldn't be able to take on if you continue that type of relationship. And you are worth so much more. So, as it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I am telling you to move on, and you are worth it. You are worth so much more and deserve everything and more. Okay, that's all. Bye, guys.